Is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this son of York? And all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Grim-visaged war has smoothed his wrinkled front, and now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fight the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive trick, nor made to court an amorous looking glass, I, that am rudely stamped and want love's majesty, I that am curtailed of that fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world, scarce half made up, and that so lamely and unfashionable that dogs bark at me as I halt by them. Why, I, in this weak and piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time unless to spy my shadow in the sun and descant of my own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove a lover to entertain these fair, well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain and hate the idle pleasures of these days. Plots have I laid, inductions dangerous, to set my brother Clarence and the king in deadly hate, the one against the other. And if King Edward be as true and just as I am subtle, false, and treacherous, this day should Clarence softly be mewed up about a prophecy which says that G of Edward's heirs the murderer shall be. Dire thoughts down to my soul. Here Clarence comes. Brother, good day. What means this armored guard that waits upon your grace?
His Majesty hath appointed this conduct to convey me to the Tower.
Upon what cause?
Because my name is George.
Alack, my lord, that fault is none of yours. He should for this commit your godfathers.
He hearkens after prophecy and dreams, and says that a wizard told him that by G his issue disinherited should be. And because my name begins with G, it follows in his thoughts that I am he.
Why, this it is when men are ruled by women. 'Tis not the king that sends you to the Tower, my Lady Grey, his wife, Clarence. 'Tis she that tempers him to this extremity. We are not safe, Clarence, we are not safe.
I do beseech both your graces to pardon me. His Majesty has straitly given in charge that no man shall have private conference of what degree soever with his brother.
We speak no treason. We say the king is wise and virtuous, and his noble queen well struck in years, fair, and not jealous. What say you? Can you deny all this?
I do beseech your grace to pardon me, and will all forbear your conference with the noble duke.
We know thy charge, Brackenbury, and will obey.
Brother, farewell. I will unto the king. Meantime, this deep disgrace in brotherhood touches me deeper than you can imagine.
I know this pleaseth neither of us well.
Well, your imprisonment will not be long. In the meantime, be patient.
I must perforce. Farewell, brother.
Go! Tread the path that thou shalt ne'er return. Plain, simple, Clarence. Ah, I do love thee so, that shortly I will send thy soul to heaven. Good time of day to you, Lord Chamberlain. What news?
The king is sickly, weak, and melancholy, and his physicians fear him mightily.
Oh, he hath kept an evil diet long and overmuch consumed his royal person. Where is he? In his bed. He is. Go you before, and I will follow you. He cannot live. I hope. And must not die till George be packed with post-horse up to heaven. I'll in to urge his hatred more to Clarence, and if I fail not in my deep intent, dear George hath not another day to live.
Lamentations of poor Anne, wife to thy Edward, to thy slaughtered son, stabbed with the self-same hand that made these wounds. Lo, and these windows that let forth thy life, may I pour the helpless balm of my poor eyes.
Cursed be the hand that made these fatal holes. Cursed be the heart that had the heart to do it. Cursed be the blood that let this blood from thence. More woeful had betide the hated wretch than I could wish to wolves, to spiders, to any creeping venomed thing that lives. If ever he have child, abortive be it, prodigious and untimely brought to light, whose ugly and unnatural aspect would fright his hopeful mother at the view. Let that be heir to his unhappiness. If ever he have wife, let her be made more miserable by the death of him than I am made by my good lord and thee, King Henry. Now towards Chertsey with your holy load, taken from Paul's to be interred there. But as you are still weary of this weight, rest you while I lament King Henry's corpse.
Say, you that bear the corpse, and set it down.
What black magician conjures up this fiend to stop our devoted charitable deeds?
Villain, set down the corpse, or by St. Paul, I'll make a corpse of him that disobeys.
My lord, stand back and let the coffin pass.
Unmannered dog, standst thou when I command? Advance thy halberd higher than thine breast, or by St. Paul, I'll strike thee to my foot and spurn upon thee, beggar, for thy boldness.
What, do you tremble? Are you all afraid? Alas, I blame you not, for you are mortal, and mortal eyes cannot endure the devil. Avaunt, thou dreadful minister of hell, thou hast but power over his mortal body. His soul thou canst not have, therefore be gone.
Sweet saint, for charity, be not so cursed.
Foul devil, for God's sake, hence and trouble us not. Thou hast made the happy earth thy hell, filling it with cursing cries and deep exclaims. If thou delight to view thy heinous deeds, behold this pattern of thy butcheries. Oh, gentlemen, see, see! Dead Henry's wounds do open their congealed mouths and bleed afresh. Blush. Blush, thou lump of foul deformity, for 'tis thy presence that exhales this blood from cold and empty veins where no blood dwells. Thy deeds, inhuman and unnatural, provoke this deluge most unnatural. O God, which this blood makes, revenge his death! O earth, which this blood drinks, revenge his death! Either heaven with lightning strike this murderer dead, or earth gape open wide and eat him quick, as thou to swallow up this good king's blood, which your hell-governed arm hath butchered!
Lady, you know no rules of charity which renders good for bad, blessings for curses.
Thou knowest no law of God nor man, no beast so fierce but knows some touch of pity.
But I know none, and therefore am no beast.
Oh, wonderful when devils tell the truth.
Oh, wonderful when angels are so angry. Vouchsafe, divine perfection of a woman, of these supposed crimes, to give me leave by circumstance, but to acquit myself.
Vouchsafe diffused infection of a man of these known evils, but give me leave by circumstance to curse thy cursed self.
Fairer than tongue can name thee, let me have some patient leisure to excuse myself.
Fouler than heart can think thee, thou canst make no excuse current but to hang thyself.
By such despair I should accuse myself.
And by excusing dost thou stand excused for doing worthy slaughter upon thyself, that didst unworthy murder upon others?
Say that I slew them not.
Well, then say they were not slain, but dead they are, and villainous slave by thee.
I did not kill your husband.
What, then is he alive?
Nay, he is dead, and by King Edward's hand.
In thy foul throat thou liest. Queen Margaret saw thy murderous dagger smoking in his blood. That same dagger thou didst turn against her breast, but that thy brothers beat aside the point.
I was provoked by her slanderous tongue that laid their guilt upon my guiltless shoulders.
Thou wast provoked by thy bloody mind, which never thinks on aught but butcheries. Didst thou not kill this king?
I grant ye.
Dost grant me, hedgehog? Then God grant me too thou mayst be damned for that wicked deed. Oh, he was gentle. He was mild and virtuous.
The better for the King of Heaven that hath him.
He is in heaven, where thou shalt never come.
Let him thank thee then that helped to send him hither, for he was fitter for that place than earth.
And thou unfit for any place but hell.
Yes, no, one place else, if you will hear me name it.
Some dungeon.
Your bedchamber.
Rest betide the chamber where thou liest.
So will it, madam, till I lie with you.
I hope so.
I know so. But, gentle Lady Anne, to leave this keen encounter of our wits and fall something into a slower method is not the causer of the timeless deaths of these Plantagenets, Henry and Edward, as blameful as the executioner.
Thou wast the cause, and the most accursed effect.
Thy beauty was the cause of that effect. Thy beauty that did haunt me in my sleep, to undertake the death of all the world, that I might live 1 hour in your sweet bosom.
If I thought that, I tell thee, homicide. With these nails, I would rend that beauty from my cheeks.
These eyes could not endure sweet beauty's wrack. You should not blemish it if I stood by. As all the world is cheered by the sun, so I by that. It is my day, my life.
Black night or shade thy day, and death thy life.
Curse not thyself, sweet lady, thou art both.
I would I were to be revenged on thee.
It is a quarrel most unnatural to be revenged on him that loveth thee.
It is a quarrel just and reasonable to be revenged on him that killed my husband.
He that bereft thee of thy husband, lady, did it to help thee to a better husband.
His better does not breathe upon the earth.
He lives that loves thee better than he could.
Name him.
Plantagenet.
That was he.
Self-same name, but one of better nature.
Where is he?
Here. Why dost thou spit at me?
Would it were mortal poison for thy sake.
Never came poison from so sweet a place.
Never hung poison on a fouler toad. Out of my sight! Thou dost infect mine eyes!
Thine eyes, sweet lady, have infected mine.
When there were basilisks then to strike thee dead.
I would they were, that I might die at once. For now they inflict me with a living death. Those eyes of thine from mine have drawn salt tears, shamed their aspect with store of childish drops. These eyes that never shed remorseful tear. No, when my father York and Edward wept to hear the piteous moan that Rutland made when black-faced Clifford shook his sword at them, nor when thy warlike father, like a child, told the sad story of my father's death, and 20 times made pause to sob and weep, that all the standards by had wet their cheeks like trees bedashed with rain. In that sad time, my manly eyes did scorn an humble tear, And what these sorrows could not thence exhale, thy beauty hath, and made them blind with weeping. I never sued to friend nor enemy. My tongue could never learn sweet, smoothing word. But now, thy beauty is proposed my fee. My proud heart sues, and prompts my tongue to speak. Teach not thy lips such scorn, for they were made for kissing, lady, not for such contempt. If thy revengeful heart cannot forgive, lo, here I lend thee this sharp-pointed sword, which, if it please thee, hide in this true bosom, and let the soul forth that adoreth thee. I lay it naked to the deadly stroke, and humbly beg the death upon my knee. Nay, do not pause, for I did kill King Henry, but 'twas thy beauty that provoked me. Nay, now dispatch. 'Twas I that stabbed young Edward, but 'twas thy heavenly face that set me on. Take up the sword again, or take up me.
Arise, dissembler. Though I wish thy death, I will not be thy executioner.
Then bid me kill myself, and I will do.
I have already!
Tush, that was in thy rage. Speak it again, and even with the word, this hand that for thy love did kill thy love, shall for thy love kill a far truer love. To both their deaths thou shalt be accessory.
I would I knew thy heart.
'Tis figured in my tongue.
I fear me both are false.
Then never man was true.
Well. Well. Put up your blade.
Say then my peace is made.
Well, that you shall know hereafter.
But shall I live in hope?
All men, I hope, live so.
Vouchsafe to wear this ring.
To take is not to give.
Look, how my ring encompasseth thy finger, even as thy breast encloseth my poor heart. And if this poor, devoted servant may but beg one favor at thy gracious hand, thou dost confirm his happiness forever.
What is it?
That it would please thee, leave these sad designs to one who hath more cause to be a mourner, and presently repair to Crosby Place, where, after I have solemnly interred at Chertsey Monastery this noble king, and wet his grave with my repentant tears, I will with all expedient duty see you, for divers unknown reasons. I beseech you, grant me this boon.
With all my heart. And much it joys me, too, to see you are become so penitent. Tressel, Brackenbury, go along with me.
Bid me farewell.
'Tis more than you deserve. But, since you teach me how to flatter you, imagine I have said farewell already.
Sirs, take up the corpse.
To church, St. Upper Lord?
No, to Whitefriars, there attend my coming. Was ever woman in this humor wooed? Was ever woman in this humor won? I'll have her, but I will not keep her long. What? I, that killed her husband and his father, to take her in her heart's extremest hate, curses in her mouth, tears in her eyes, the bleeding witness of my hatred by, having God, her conscience, and these bars against me, and I, nothing to back my suit at all but the plain devil and dissembling looks. And yet to win her, all the world to nothing. But has she forgot already that brave Prince Edward her lord, whom I some 3 months since stabbed in my angry mood at Tewkesbury? A sweeter and a lovelier gentleman, framed in the prodigality of nature, young, valiant, wise, and no doubt right royal, the spacious world cannot again afford. And will she yet abase her eyes on me, that cropped the golden prime of this young prince and made her widow to a woeful bed? On me, whose all not equals Edward's moiety? On me, that halts and am misshapen thus? My dukedom to a beggarly denier, I do mistake my person all this while. Upon my life, she finds, although I cannot, myself to be a marvelous, proper man. Albeit charges for a looking glass, and entertain a score or two of tailors to study fashions to adorn my body. Since I have crept in favor with myself, I will maintain it at some little cost. Shine out, fair sun, till I have found a glass, that I may see my shadow as I pass.
Madam, there is no doubt His Majesty will soon recover his accustomed health.
And that you broke it in. It makes him worse. Therefore, for God's sake, entertain good comfort and cheer his grace with quick and merry words.
Oh, if he were dead, what would betide on me, sister? No other harm but loss of such a lord. The loss of such a lord includes all harm.
The heavens have blessed you with a goodly son, mother, to be your comforter when he is gone.
Ah, but he is young, and his minority is put into the trust of Richard Gloucester, a man that loves not me, nor none of you. Is it confirmed that he shall be protector? So it must be, should the king miscarry.
Here comes the Lord of Buckingham.
What time of day unto your royal grace?
What likelihood of his amendment, lord?
Madam, good hope. His grace speaks cheerfully.
Did you confer with him?
Aye, madam. He desires to make atonement betwixt the Duke of Gloucester and your sister and son, and between them and my Lord Hastings. He sends to bring them to his royal presence.
Would all were well, but I fear that will never be.
They do me offense, and I will not abjure it. Who are they? They to complain unto the king that I forsooth them stern and love them not. By holy Paul, they love his grace but lightly that fill his ears with such dissentious rumors. Because I cannot flatter and look fair, smile in men's faces, smooth, deceive, and carve, I must be held a rancorous enemy.
To whom in all this presence speaks your grace?
To thee, Lady Rivers, that hath not honesty nor grace. When have I injured thee? When done thee wrong? Or thee? Or thee? Or any of your faction? A plague upon you all. His royal grace cannot be quiet, scarce a breathing while, but you must trouble him with lewd complaints.
Come, come. We know your meaning, Brother Gloucester. You envy my advancement and my friends. God grant we never may have need.
Meantime, God grants that we have need of you. My brother Clarence, imprisoned by your means, my self-disgrace, and the nobility held in contempt.
I never did incense his majesty against the Duke of Clarence, but have been earnest advocate to plead for him. My lord, you do me shameful injury falsely to draw me in such vile suspects. By heaven, I shall acquaint his majesty with these gross taunts oft I have endured.
Tell him, and spare not what I have said. I will avouch it in King Edward's presence. Ere you were queen, I, or your husband king, I was the pack horse in his great affairs. To royalize his blood, I spilled mine own. I would to God my heart were flint, like Edward's. I am too childish, foolish for this world.
Hear me, you wrangled pirates, and fall out in sharing that which you pilfered for me. Which of you trembles not that looks on me? Oh, gentle villain, do not turn away.
Foul, wrinkled witch, what blinks thou in my sight?
A husband and a son thou owest me, and thou a kingdom. All you allegiance, this sorrow I have by right is yours, and all the pleasures you usurp are mine. Oh, give way, dull clouds, to my quick curses. Edward, thy son who is Prince of Wales, for Edward my son who was Prince of Wales, die in his youth by untimely violence. Oh, long die thy happy days before thy death.
Cease thy curses, thou wretched, withered hag.
And leave thee out. But thou shalt hear me. If heaven hath any grievous plague in store, oh, let them keep it till thy sins be ripe, and then hurl down their indignation on thee, the troubler of the poor world's peace. Now sleep close up that deadly eye of thine, and let spell some tormenting dream affrights thee with a hell of ugly devils. Oh, thou elvish mark, abortive rooting hog, the slave of nature and the son of hell!
Margaret!
Margaret, thus have you breathed your curse against yourself.
Oh, poor painted queen, vain flourish in my fortune. Oh, why strewest thy sugar on that bottled spider whose deadly women snare thee about? Fool, thou wentest at nights to kill thyself. Oh, the day shall come when thou shalt wish for me to help thee curse that poisonous bunchback toad.
Dispute not with her, she is lunacy.
Oh, with this my son, now in the shade of death, whose bright outshining beams like cloudy wrath hath in eternal darkness folded up.
Peace. For shame if not for charity.
Buckingham, take heed of yonder dog. Look, when he fawns, he bites. When he bites, his venom tooth will rankle to the death. Have not to do with him. Beware of him.
What does she say, my lord of Buckingham?
Nothing I respect, my lord.
What? Dost thou scorn my gentle counsel, and soothe the devil that I warn thee from? Oh, but remember this another day, when he shall split thy very heart with sorrow, and say, poor Margaret was a prophetess! With each of you the subject to his hate, and he to yours, and all of you to God's!
My hair doth stand on end to hear the curses.
And so doth mine. I muse why she's at liberty.
She hath had too much wrong, and I repent the part whereof that I have done to her.
I never did her any, to my knowledge.
Yet you have all the advantage of her wrong.
Madam, his majesty doth call for you. And you, your grace, and you, your graces.
I come. Noble friends, will you go with me?
We wait upon your grace.
The secret mischiefs that I set abroach, I lay into the grievous charge of others. And Clarence, whom I indeed have laid in darkness, I do beweep to many simple gulls, namely to Stanley, Hastings, Buckingham, and tell them 'tis the Queen and her allies that stir the King against the Duke my brother. Now they believe it, and withal quet me to be revenged on rivers and on grain. But then I sigh, and with a piece of scripture tell them that God bids us do good for ill. And thus I clothe my naked villainy with old odd ends stolen forth of holy writ, and seem a saint when most I play the devil. So, here comes my executioner. How now, my hardy, stout, resolved mate? Are you now going to dispatch this deed?
I am, my noble lord, and come to have the warrant that I may be admitted where he is.
Well thought upon. I have it here about me. When thou is done, repair to Crosby Place. But, madam, be sudden in the execution. Withal obdurate. Do not hear him plead. For Clarence is well spoken, and perhaps may move your heart to pity if you mark him.
Tush, fear not. I will not stand to prate. Talkers are no do-gooders. I come to use my hands and not my tongue.
Your eyes drop millstones when fools' eyes drop tears. I like you. About your business, straight. Go, go, dispatch.
I will, my noble lord.
Spent a miserable night, so full of fearful dreams and ugly sights that I would not spend another such night, though 'twere to buy a world of happy days.
What was your dream, my lord?
Methought I had broken from the tower and embarked across to Burgundy, and in my company my brother Gloucester, who did tempt me to walk upon the hatches. And then methought my brother Gloucester had stumbled, and in falling struck me overboard, and into the tumbling billows of the main went I. Lord, Lord, methought what a pain it was to drown. Methought I saw 1,000 fearful wrecks, 10,000 men that fishes not upon, inestimable stones, unvalued jewels, that all lay scattered on the bottom of the sea. Some lay in dead men's skulls as eyes to mock the very bones that lay scattered nearby.
Had you such leisure in the time of death to gaze upon the secrets of the deep?
Methought I had, yet still the envious flood crept into my soul, and smothered it all within my panting bulk, which almost did burst forth to belch it into the sea.
Awaked you not with the sore agony?
No, no, my dream was lengthened after life. I passed, methought, the envious flood in that grim ferryman that poets do write of, and the first thing that did greet my stranger soul, a shadow, like an angel, with bright hair dabbled in blood, and squawked it thus: Clarence comes, false, fleeting, perjured Clarence, that stabbed me in the field by Tewkesbury. Seize on him, furies, and take him to your torments! Brackenbury, I could not believe but that I was in hell. Such terrible impression made the dream.
No marvel, my lord, though it affrighted you, I am afraid methinks to hear you tell it.
Brackenbury, have I done those things that now bear evidence against my soul? Oh God, thou wilt be avenged for my misdeeds. Yet execute thy wrath on me alone, and spare my guiltless wife and my poor children. I prithee, gentle keeper, stay by me. My soul is heavy, and I would fain sleep.
I will, my lord. God give your grace good rest. Oh, who's here? In God's name, what are you, and how came you hither?
I would speak with Clarence, and I come hither on my legs. gay are you so brief?
No, it is better to be brief than tedious. Show him my commission. Speak no more.
I am in this commanded to deliver the noble Duke of Clarence to your hands. I will not reason what is meant hereby, because I will be guiltless of the meaning. Here are the keys. There lies the Duke asleep. I'll to the king and signify to him that thus I have resigned my charge to you.
Do so. It is a point of wisdom. Fare you well.
Hark! Where art thou? Oh, gentle keeper. Pour me a cup of wine.
You will have wine enough, anon.
In God's name, what art thou?
I am woman, and better than thou art.
No better, as I am royal.
And I am loyal.
Yet thine eyes menace me. Why look you pale? Why for do you come? To murder me.
Aye.
You scarcely have the heart to tell me so, and therefore do not have the heart to do it. Wherein, my friend, have I offended you?
Offended me you have not, but the king.
I will be reconciled to him again.
Never, my lord, you can't die. And I'll drown, if that is not enough, I will drown you in the mumsy butt below.
Why now, so have I done a good day's work. You peers, continue this united league. Rivers and Hastings, dissemble not your hatred. Swear your love.
By heaven, my soul is purged from grudging hate, and with my hand I seal my heart's true love.
So thrive I, as I truly swear the like.
Madam, yourself is not exempt from this. Nor you, stepson Grey. Buckingham, nor you. You've been factious, one against the other. And what you do, do it unfeignedly.
So thrive I and mine.
Ah, and in good time, here comes the Duke of Gloucester.
Good morrow to my sovereign king and queen. And princely peers, a happy time of day.
Happy indeed, as we have spent the day making peace of enmity, fair love of hate between these swelling, wrong-incensed peers.
A blessed labor, my most sovereign liege. If I, unwittingly or in my rage, have aught committed that is hardly borne by any in this presence, I desire to reconcile me to his friendly peace. I know there is no Englishman alive with whom my soul is any jot at odds.
I would to God all strifes were well compounded. I, sovereign lord, I do beseech your highness to bring a royal Clarence to your grace.
Why, madam, have I offered love for this to be so flouted in his royal presence? Who knows not that the gentle duke is dead? You do him injury to scorn his corpse.
Who knows not that he is dead? Who knows he is?
Oh, heaven, what a world is this?
Is Clarence dead? The order was reversed.
But he, poor man, by your first order died, and that a winged Mercury did bear. Some tardy cripple bore the counterband, and came too lag to see him buried.
Have a tongue to do my brother's death. Shall the same give pardon to a slave? My brother slew no man. His fault was thought, and yet his punishment was cruel death. Who sued to him for me? Who in my rage kneeled at my feet and bade me be advised? Who told me how he did forsake the mighty Warwick and did fight for me? Who told me in the field by Tewkesbury, when Oxford had me down, he rescued me and said, "Dear brother, live and be a king." Who told me when we lay in the field, frozen almost to death, how he did lap me, even in his own garments, and gave himself all thin and naked to the numb cold night. All this from my remembrance, brutish rat sinfully plucked. And not a man of you had so much grace to put it in my mind. But when your carters or your waiting vassals have done a drunken slaughter, you're straight on your knees for pardon. Pardon! And I unjustly too must grant it you, but for my brother not a man would speak. Nor I, ungracious, speak unto him for myself, or so. The proudest of you all have been beholden to him in his life, yet none of you would once plead for his life. Oh God, I fear thy justice will take hold on me, and you, and mine, and yours for this. Come, Hastings, help me to my closet. Oh, poor Clarence.
This is the fruit of rashness. Marked you not how that the guilty kindred of the queen looked pale when they did hear of Clarence's death? Oh, they did urge it still unto the king. God will revenge it. Come, my lords. Wait upon your grace.
Who shall hinder me to wail and weep, to chide my fortune and torment myself?
What means this scene of rude impatience?
Oh, my lord, thy son, their father, our king is dead. If you will live, lament. If die, be brief, that our swift-winged souls may catch the king's, and like obedient subjects follow him to his new kingdom of ne'er-changing night.
So much interest have I in thy sorrow, as I had title in thy noble husband. I have bewept a worthy husband's death, and lived with looking on his images. But now 2 mirrors of his princely semblance are cracked in pieces by malignant death. And for comfort I have but one false glass, which grieves me when I see my shame in him. Thou art a widow, yet thou art a mother. Thou hast the comfort of thy children left. But death hath snatched my husband from my side, and plucked 2 crutches from my feeble hands. Pour all your tears. I am thy sorrow's nurse, and I will pamper it with lamentations.
Madam, methinks you like a careful mother. Of the prince, your son. Send for him straight. Let him be crowned. In him your comfort lives.
All of us have cause to wail the dimming of our shining star, but none can help our harms by wailing them. Madam, my mother, I cry you mercy. I did not see your grace. I crave your blessing.
God bless thee, and put meekness in thy breast, love, charity, and true duty.
Amen. And make me die a good old man. This is the butt end of a mother's blessing. I marvel that her grace did leave it out.
You here that bear this heavy load of moan, now cheer each other in each other's love. Meseemeth good that with some little train, forthwith from Ludlow, the young prince be fetched hither to London, to be crowned our king.
Why with some little train, my lord of Buckingham?
Marry, my lady, lest by a multitude the new healed wound of malice should break out, which would be so much the more dangerous by how much the estate is yet green and ungoverned.
Then be it so. And go we to determine who they shall be that shall straight to Ludlow. Madam, and you, my sister, will you go to give your censures in this business?
With all our hearts.
My lord, whoever journeys to the prince, for God's sake let not us two stay at home, for by the way, I'll sort occasion to part the queen's proud kindred from the prince.
My other self. My counsel's consistory. My oracle, my prophet, my dear cousin. As a child, I will follow your direction. Towards Ludlow, then, for we'll not stay behind.
Oh, I long with all my heart to see Prince Edward. I hope he is much grown since last I saw him.
Ah, but I hear no. They say his royal brother has almost overtaken him in his growth.
Aye, mother, but I would not have it so.
Why, my good cousin, it is good to grow.
Condemn, one night as we did sit at supper, my Aunt Rivers talked how I did grow more than my brother. I quoth my uncle Richard, small herbs have grace, great weeds do grow apace.
Good faith, the saying did not hold in him that did object the same to thee. Why, he was the wretchedest thing when he was young, so long a growing and so leisurely that if his rule were true, he would be gracious.
Oh, what news?
Such news, madame.
Well, how doth the
grieves
prince?
me to report.
How doth the prince?
Oh, well, madam, in health.
Then what is thy news?
Lady Rivers and Lord Grey to part prisoners.
Who hath committed them?
The mighty Dukes, Gloucester and Buckingham.
For what offense?
The sum of all I have disclosed.
Oh, accursed and unquiet wrangling days, how many of you have mine eyes beheld? Farewell, daughter.
Come, come, my boy. We will to sanctuary. Madam, farewell.
Stay, I will go with thee.
Welcome, sweet prince, to London.
Welcome, your grace, my thoughts sovereign. The weary way hath made you melancholy.
No, uncle, but I want more uncles here to welcome me.
Those uncles which you want were dangerous. Your highness attended to their sugared words, but look not on the poison of their hearts. God keep you from them, and from such false friends. My lord, here comes the mayor of London to greet you.
God bless your grace with health and happy days. I thank you, good my lord. I thank you all.
the Queen your mother and your brother York have taken sanctuary. The tender prince would fain have come with me to greet you, but his mother was perforce withheld.
Fine. What an indirect and peevish course is this of hers. Would your grace persuade the queen to send the Duke of York unto his princely brother presently? If she refuse Lord Hastings, from her jealous arms pluck him perforce. The benefit of sanctuary is always granted to those whose dealings deserve the place, or those with the wit to claim the place. Oft I have heard of sanctuary men, but sanctuary children? Never till now.
Say, Uncle Gloucester, when our brother comes, where shall we sojourn till our coronation?
If I may counsel you, some day or two your highness shall repose you at the tower, then after where you please that shall be thought most fit for your best health and recreation.
I do not like the tower of any place. Didn't Julius Caesar build that place?
He did, my lord, begin that place, which since succeeding ages have re-edified. So young, so wise, they say, do never live long.
Brother!
And in good time. Here comes the Duke of York.
Richard of York, how fares our loving brother?
Well, my dread lord, so I must call you now.
How fares my cousin, noble Lord of York?
I thank you, gentle uncle. Oh, my lord, you said that idle weeds are fast in growth.
I did, my lord, but meant no harm.
I pray you, uncle, give me your dagger.
Well, would you have my weapon, little lord?
Yes, that I might thank you as you call me.
How?
Little.
My brother York will still be crossed in talk. Uncle, your grace knows how to bear with him.
You mean to bear me, not to bear with me. Uncle, my brother mocks both you and me. He thinks that because I am little like an ape, you should bear me on your shoulders.
With what a sharp provided wit he reasons. So cunning and so young is wonderful.
Your grace, will it please you pass along? Myself and my good cousin Buckingham will to your mother to entreat of her to meet you at the tower and welcome you.
What, will you go to the tower, my lord?
My lord protector needs will have it so.
I shall not sleep in quiet at the tower.
Why? What should you fear?
My Uncle Clarence's angry ghost. My grandam told me he was murdered there.
I fear no uncle's dead.
No, none that live, I hope.
And if they live, I hope I need not fear. Go I unto the tower. Come, brother.
He's a parlous boy. Bold, quick, forward, ingenious, capable. He is all the mother's from top to toe.
Well, let them rest. Come hither, Catesby. Go now, gentle Catesby. Sound thou Hastings, how he the stand affected to our purpose for the installment of this noble duke on the seat royal of this famous isle.
Tell him, Catesby, that his ancient knot of dangerous adversaries shall be let blood tomorrow at Pomfret Castle.
What shall we do if we perceive that Lord Hastings shall not yield to our complots?
Chop off his head, man. And look you, when I am king, claim thou of me the earldom of Hereford, and all the movables whereof the king my brother was possessed.
I'll claim that promise at your grace's hand.
Catesby, what news in this our tottering state?
It is a reeling world indeed, my lord, and I believe will never stand upright till Richard wear the garland of the realm.
How wear the garland? Dost thou mean the crown?
Aye, my good lord.
I'll have this crown of mine cut from my shoulders before I see the crown so foul misplaced. But canst thou guess that he doth fame at it?
Aye, upon my life, and thereupon sends you this good news, that tomorrow night, Rivers and Gray, kindred to the Queen, must die at Pomfret.
Indeed, I am no mourner for that news, for they have been still my adversaries, that I might give my voice on Richard's side and bar my master's heirs in true descent. God knows I will not do it to the death.
God keep your lordship in that gracious mind.
But I shall laugh on this a 12-month hence, that they who brought me in my master's hate, I live to look upon their tragedy. Well, Catesby, ere a fortnight make me older, I'll send some packing that yet not think of.
'Tis a vile thing to die, my lord, when men are unprepared and look not for it.
Monstrous! Monstrous! And so falls it out with Rivers, Vaughan, Grey. And so 'twill do for some men else who think themselves as safe as thou and I, who, thou knowest well, are dear to princely Richard and to Buckingham.
The princes both make high account of you, for they account his head upon the bridge.
I know they do, and I have well deserved it.
Let me tell thee this. Today shalt thou witness 2 subjects die for truth, for duty, and for loyalty.
God spare the princes from the pack of you. A nut you are, a damn blood suckers. Dispatch. The limit of our lives is out.
Pomfret, Pomfret, we give thee our guiltless blood to drink. As now Margaret's curse has fallen upon our heads. Make haste, the hour of death is expert. Then curse ye Hastings, then curse ye Buckingham, then curse ye Richard. Oh, remember God, to hear her prayers for them, as now for us, and for my sister and her princely sons. Oh, be satisfied, dear God, with our true blood, which, as thou knowest, unjustly must be spilt.
Make haste. The hour of death is expiate.
Come, Grey. Let us all embrace and take our leave until we meet again in heaven.
Noble peers, the cause why we are met is to determine the coronation of young Edward.
Are all things ready for the royal time?
They are, and once but nomination. Tomorrow, then, I judge a happy day.
Who knows the Lord Protector's mind herein? Who is most inward with the noble Duke?
Your Grace, we
humbly believe that you know his mind the well best.
We know each other's faces. As for our hearts, he knows no more of mine than I of yours. Lord Hastings, you and he are near in love.
I thank your grace. I know he loves me well. But for his purpose in this coronation, I have not sounded him. But you, my noble lords, naming the time and on the Duke's behalf, I'll give my voice.
In happy time, here comes the Duke himself.
My noble lords and cousins all, good morrow. I have been long a sleeper, but I trust my absence doth neglect no great design that by my presence might have been concluded.
Had you not come upon your cue, my lord, William Lord Hastings had declared your part, I mean your voice, for crowning of the king.
Oh, then Lord Hastings no man might be so bold. His lordship knows me well, and loves me well. My lord of Ely, when last I was in Holborn, I saw good strawberries in your garden there. I beseech you, send for some of them.
Marry, I will, my lord, with all my heart.
Cousin of Buckingham, a word with you?
Where's my Lord Duke of Gloucester? I have sent for these strawberries.
His grace looks cheerfully and smooth today. I think there's never a man in Christendom can lesser hide his love and hate than he, for by his face, straight shall you know his heart.
What of his heart perceive you in his face by any likelihood he showed today?
Marry, that with no man here he is offended, for where he had shown it in his looks.
I pray God he be not, I say.
I pray you all, tell me what they deserve that do conspire my death through devilish plots of damned witchcraft, and that have prevailed upon my body with their hellish charms.
The tender love I bear your grace leads me to say they have deserved death.
Well, then let your eyes be witness to their evil. See how I am bewitched. Behold, my arm is like a blasted sapling withered up. And this is Edward's wife, that monstrous witch, that by her witchcraft thus hath marked me.
If by this deed she have, my noble lord.
If thou protector of this damned strumpet, talkst thou to me of ifs? Thou art a traitor. Off with his head! Now, by St. Paul, I will not dine until I see the same. Catesby, look that it be done. The rest that love me, rise and follow me. Go, cousin Buckingham, to the mayor and citizens at Guildhall. There, at your meet's advantage of the time, infer the bastardy of Edward's children.
Catesby, please, I dance attendance here. I think the Duke will not be spoke withal. Here comes his servant. How now, Catesby, what says he?
He is within with the Reverend Father, divinely bent to meditation, and no worldly suits would draw to move him from his holy exercise.
Return, good Catesby, to the gracious Duke. Tell him myself, the mayor and aldermen, in deep design, in matter of great moment, are come to have some conference with his grace.
I'll signify so much unto him straight.
My lords and ladies, this prince is not an Edward. He is not lolling on a lewd love bed, but on his knees at meditation. Happy were England would this virtuous prince take upon his grace the sovereignty thereof.
God defend his grace should say us nay.
I fear he will. Now, Catesby, What says his grace?
He wonders to what end you have assembled such a troop of citizens to come to him. He fears, my lord, you mean no good to him.
By heaven, we are come to him in perfect love, and so once more return and tell his grace. When holy and devout religious men are at their beads, 'tis much to draw them thence. So sweet is zealous contemplation.
And see where he kneels there, in the presence of a clergyman.
And see, a book of prayer in his hand. Famous Plantagenet, most gracious prince, lend favorable ears to our requests, and pardon us the interruption of your devotion and right Christian zeal.
I do suspect I have done some offense which seems disgracious in the city's eye.
We heartily solicit your gracious self to take on you the charge and kingly government of this your land, your right of birth, your empery, your own.
God be thanked, there is no need of me. The royal tree hath left us royal fruit. The prince, safely in the tower stowed, will no doubt make us happy by his reign. On him I lay that you would lay on me.
You say that Edward is your brother's son. So say we too. But not by Edward's wife. For first he was contract to Lady Bona. This Elizabeth, a poor widow, seduced the pitch and height of his degree to base declension and loathed bigamy. By her, in his unlawful bed, he got this little Edward, whom we call a prince. Then good, my lord, take upon your royal self this profit benefit of dignity.
Do, my lord, your citizens entreat you.
Alas, why would you heap this care on me? I am unfit for state and majesty. I cannot and I will not yield to you.
If you refuse it, as well we know your tenderness of heart, gentle, kind, feminine remorse, yet know, thy brother's son shall never reign our king, but we will plant another in the throne to the disgrace and downfall of this your house. And with this resolution here, we leave you. Come, citizens, zoons, I'll entreat no more.
Oh, do not swear, my lord of Buckingham.
Call them again, sweet prince. Accept their suit. If you deny them, all the land will rue it.
Will you entreat me to a world of cares? Call them again. Cousin Buckingham! I am not made of stone. My cousin Buckingham and sage grave men, if you do buckle fortune on my back, I must have patience to endure the load. But God will know, and you may partly see how far I am from the desire of this.
Good your grace, we see it and will say it.
In saying so, you do but say the truth.
Then I salute you with this royal title. Long live Richard, England's worthy king!
Long live Richard, England's worthy king!
My lord, I heard not half the citizenry. Lest their loyalty be in doubt, I say again, long live Richard, England's worthy king!
Long live Richard, England's worthy king!
Well, tomorrow will it please you to be crowned?
Even when you please, for you will have it so.
And so, most joyfully we take our leave.
And I will to my holy work again. Farewell, good cousin. Farewell, gentle friends.
Open this gate. Who greets us here? God grant your graces both
As much to you, good sister.
What make you here? As I guess, upon the like devotion as yourselves to congratulate the gentle princess here.
Kind sister, thanks. We'll enter all together. Oh, Master Lieutenant, pray you, by your leave, how doth the prince and my young son of York?
Right well, dear madam. By your patience, I may not suffer you to visit them. The king has strictly charged the contrary.
The king? Who's that?
I mean the Lord Protector.
The Lord protect him from that kingly title. I am their mother. Who shall bar me from them?
I am their father's mother. I will see them.
Their aunt I am in law, in love their mother. We will see them. Bring us to their sights.
No, madam, no. I may not leave it so. I am bound by oath, and therefore, pardon me.
You must straight to Westminster, there to be crowned as Richard's royal queen.
Oh, cut my lace asunder, else I swoon from this dead-killing news.
Oh, spiteful tidings! Oh, unpleasing news!
Oh, ill-dispersing wind of misery. Oh, my accursed womb, the bed of death. A cockatrice hast thou hatched to the world, whose unavoided eye is murderous.
Come, madam, come. I in all haste am sent.
Oh, that golden roundamus encircle my brow be made of red hot steel to sear me to the brains. And run up, let me be, let me die before men can say, God save the queen!
Go, go, poor soul, I envy not your glory.
Go thee to Richard, and good angels tend thee.
Stand all apart. Cousin Buckingham.
My gracious sovereign.
Give me thy hand. Thus high, by thy advice and thy assistance, is King Richard seated. But shall we wear these glories for a day? Or shall they last and we rejoice in them?
Still live they, and forever let them last.
Young Edward lives. I say I would be king.
And so thou art, my thrice renowned lord.
Cousin, thou wert not wont to be so dull. Shall I be plain? I wish the bastards dead. And I would have it suddenly performed. What sayest thou now? Speak suddenly.
Your grace may do your pleasure.
Tut, tut, thou art all ice, thy kindness freezes. Say, have I thy consent that they shall die?
Give me some little breath, some pause, dear lord, before I speak positively in this. I will resolve you herein presently.
Catesby!
My lord.
Knowest thou any whom corrupting gold may tempt into a close exploit of death?
I know a discontented gentleman. Gold will no doubt tempt him to anything.
What's his name?
His name, my lord, is Tyrrell.
I partly know the man. Have him sent for. the deep, revolving, witty Buckingham no more shall be the neighbor to my counsels. But hath he kept so long with us untired, and stops he now for breath? Well, be it so. How now, Stanley, what news?
No, my loving lord, the Earl of Richmond, Henry Tudor, is on the move in France. He comes to claim your crown, has followers, and marches toward the coast.
Come hither, Catesby! Rumor it abroad that Anne, my wife, is very grievous sick. I will take order for her keeping close. Look how thou dreamst. I say again, give out that Anne, my queen, is sick and like to die. Or it stands upon me to stop all gross who they damage me about it. Is thy name Tyrrell?
James Tyrrell, and your most obedient subject.
Art thou indeed?
My gracious lord.
Darest thou resolve to kill a friend of mine?
So please you. I'd rather kill two enemies.
Why, then thou hast it. Two deep enemies, foes to my unrest, my sweet sleep's disturbers are they that I would have thee deal upon. Tyrrell, I mean those bastards in the tower.
Give me open means to come to them, and soon I'll rid you of the fear of them.
Say that it is done, and I will love thee and prefer thee for it.
I shall dispatch this for you.
My lord, I have considered a late request that you...
Well, let that pass.
My lord, I claim the gift, my due by promise, the earldom of Hereford and the movables which you have promised I shall possess.
Stanley, look to your wife. If she convey letters to Richmond, you shall answer it.
What says your highness to my just demand?
I do remember me, King Henry VI did prophesy that Richmond should be king, when Richmond was a peevish little boy. King, perhaps.
My lord, your promise for the earldom.
Richmond. When last I was in Exeter, the mayor in courtesy showed me the castle and called it Rougemont, at which name I started because a bard of Ireland told me once I should not live long after I saw Richmond.
My lord!
I am not in the giving vein today.
My lord!
Leave us.
All hail, our most sovereign lord.
Kind Tyrrell, am I happy by thy news?
Brackenbury is burying them.
Come to me again in the morning. Meantime, but think how I may do thee good. Now, for I know the Breton Richmond aims at young Elizabeth, my brother's daughter, and by that knot looks proudly at the crown. To her I'll go, a jolly thriving wooer.
My lord,
Good or bad news that thou comest in so bluntly?
Bad, my lord. The Bishop of Ely flies to France and joins with Richmond's power there. Buckingham, backed by the hardy Welshman, takes to the field, yet still his power increaseth.
Ely with Richmond toucheth me more near than Buckingham with his rash and levied strength. So, muster men. My counsel is my shield. We must be brief when traitors brave the field.
Oh, my poor princess! Oh, my tender babes! If yet your gentle souls fly in the air, hover about me with your airy wings.
So many miseries have crazed my voice that my woe-weary tongue is still and mute.
Thou, O God, fly from such gentle lambs and throw them in the entrails of the wolf.
Dead life, blind sight, poor mortal living ghost, rest thy unrest on England's lawful earth, unlawfully made drunk with innocent blood.
Oh, thou wouldst as soon afford a grave as thou canst yield a melancholy seat. Oh, who hath any cause to mourn but we?
I once called thee poor shadowed painted queen. Where is thy husband now? Where be thy brother? Where be the thronging troops that followed thee? Oh, decline all this and see thee for what thou now art. For a happy wife, a most distressed widow, for joyful mother, one that wails the name.
Oh, thou didst prophesy the time would come that I should wish for thee to help me curse that bottle spider, that foul bunchbacked toad.
I had a husband till Richard killed him, and thou hast 2 sons till Richard killed them. I had a husband and thou didst kill him.
I had an Edmund too, and thou didst kill him.
Oh, from the kennel of thy womb hath crept a hellhound that doth hunt us all to death.
Oh, Harry's wife, triumph not in my woe. God witness, I have wept enough for thee.
Oh, bear with me. I am hungry for revenge. Clarence, Hastings, Rivers, Gray, and Anne, untimely smothered in their dusty graves. Richard yet lives, hell's black intelligencer. Cancel thy bond of life, dear God, I pray that I may live and say the dog is dead!
Oh, thou well skilled in curses, stay a while and teach me how to curse mine enemies.
Prepare to sleep thy nights and pass thy days. Compare dead happiness to living woes. Think thy babe sweeter than thy word, he who slew them fouler than he is. Revolving this will teach thee how to curse.
Oh, my words are slow. Quicken them with thine.
Oh, thy woes will make them sharp and pierce like mine.
If so, then be not tongue-tied. Go with me, and with the breath of bitter words will smother my damned son, that thy 2 sweet sons smothered.
Some light-footed friend post to the Duke of Norfolk. Catesby, fly to the Duke. Unmindful villain, why standst thou here and goest not to the Duke?
Tell me what your highness's pleasure is. What would you have me deliver to the Duke?
Bid him straight to levy the greatest strength and power that he can make, and meet me suddenly in Salisbury.
I go.
Stanley, what's the news with you?
Richmond is on the seas. He makes for England, here to claim the crown.
Is the chair empty? Is the sword unswayed? Is the king dead? The empire unpossessed? What heir of York is there alive but we? And who is England's king but great York's heir? And tell me, what makes he upon the seas?
Unless for that, my liege, I cannot guess.
Thou wilt revolt and fly to him, I fear. He is thy stepson.
No, my good lord. Therefore mistrust me not.
Where is thine army, then, to beat him back? Are they not now upon the western shore, safe conducting the rebels from their ships?
My friends are in the north.
Cold friends to me. What do they in the north when they should serve their sovereign in the west?
They have not been commanded, mighty king. Pleases your majesty to give me leave. I'll muster up my friends and meet your grace where and what time your majesty shall please.
Aye, thou wilt be gone to fly to Richmond, but I'll not trust thee.
Most mighty sovereign, you have no cause to doubt my friendship. I never was nor never will be false.
Go then, and muster men. But leave behind your son, George Stanley. Look your heart be firm, or else his head's assurance is but frail.
As I prove true to you.
My liege, the Duke of Buckingham is taken. That is the best news. That Richmond is with mighty power landed at Milford is colder tidings, yet they must be told.
Away. Away! While we reason here, a royal battle might be won and lost. Halt! Who intercepts me in my expedition?
Oh, she that should have intercepted thee by strangling thee in her accursed womb from all the slaughters, wretch that thou hast done.
Tell me, thou villain slave, where are my children?
Thou toad, where is thy brother Clarence?
Where are the kind rivers, the sweet gray? Where is gentle Hastings?
A husband and a son thou owest me.
Strike, alarm drums! Let not the heavens hear these telltale women. Strike, I say!
Art thou my son?
Aye, I thank God, my father, and yourself.
Oh, let me speak.
Do so, but I'll not listen.
Oh, I will be mild and gentle in my words.
And brief, good mother, for I am in haste.
Art thou so hasty? I have stayed for thee, God knows, in torment and in agony. Thou camest on earth to make the earth my hell. A grievous burden was thy birth to me. Tetchy and wayward was thy infancy. Thy school days frightful, desperate, wild, furious. Thy prime of manhood daring, bold, and venturous. Thy age confirmed, proud, subtle, sly, and bloody. More mild and yet more harmful, kind in hatred. What comfortable hour canst thou name that ever graced me with thy company?
If I be so disgracious in your eye, let me march on and not offend you, madam. Strike up the drum!
I prithee, hear me speak.
You speak too bitterly.
Hear me a word, for I shall never speak to thee again.
So?
Ere thou return conqueror from this battle, and die by God's just ordinance, or I with grief shall perish and never more behold thy face again. Therefore, take with thee my most grievous curse, and on the day of battle, tire thee more than all the complete armor that thou wearest.
And whereas my curses thus wear the unlawful crown, my prayers to the adverse party fight, the little souls of Edward's children whisper to the spirits of thine enemies and promise them success and victory. Oh, bloody thou art, and bloody will be thy end. Shame serves thy life, doth thy death attend.
Thou var more cause, yet much less spirit abides in me to curse. I say amen to her.
Stay, madam. I must talk a word with you. You have a daughter called Elizabeth, virtuous and fair, royal and gracious.
And must she die for this? Oh, let her live. And I'll corrupt her manners, stain her beauty, so she may live unscarred of bleeding slaughter. I will confess she was not Edward's daughter.
Her life is safest only in her birth. No, madam. That from my soul I love thy daughter, and do intend to make her Queen of England.
Well then, who dost thou mean shall be her king?
Even he that makes her queen, who else should be?
How canst thou woo her?
That would I learn of you, as one being best acquainted with her humor.
Oh, what were I best to say? Her father's brother should be her lord, or shall I say her uncle? Or he that slew her brothers and her uncles?
But in your daughter's womb I bury them, wherein that nest of spicery they will breed cells of themselves to your recomfiture.
What? How canst thou woo her?
And through God, the law, my honor, and her love.
Good. Come, have her with her tender years.
Say she shall be a high and mighty queen.
To wail the title as her mother doth? Day, yield me not thy light, or night thy rest.
Be opposite all planets of good luck to my proceedings, if with dear heart's love I tender not thy beauty's princely daughter. In her resides my happiness and thine. Without her follows to myself and thee death, desolation, ruin, and decay. It cannot be avoided but by this. Look, what is done cannot now be amended. If I did take the kingdom from your sons, to make amends, I'll give it to your daughter. Therefore, good mother, I must call you so, be the attorney of my love to her. Plead what I will be, not what I have been.
Shall I be tempted of the devil thus?
Aye, if the devil tempt you to do good.
I go. Write to me very shortly, and you shall understand from me her mind.
Bear my true love's kiss. And so farewell, relenting fool, shallow, changing woman.
Will not King Richard let me speak with him?
No, my good lord, therefore be patient.
This is All Souls' Day. Catesby, is it not?
It is.
Why then, All Souls' Day is my body's doomsday. Thus Margaret's curse falls heavy on my neck. When he, quoth she, shall split thy heart with sorrow. Come, Catesby, lead me to the block of shame. Wrong hath but wrong. Blame the due of blame. Lead on, executioner.
The weary sun hath made a golden set by the bright track of his fiery car, gives token of a goodly day tomorrow. Where is Lord Stanley quartered, do you know?
His regiment lies half a mile at least south of the mighty forest of the king's camp.
Sweet Blunt, make some good means to speak with him, and give him from me this most needful note.
Upon my life, my lord, I'll undertake it.
Good night, good Captain Blunt.
not sup tonight. Catesby, fill me a bowl of wine. Is my visor easier than it was? Is all my armor laid into my tent?
It is, my liege. All things are in readiness.
Bid my guard watch. Leave me. Catesby! About the mid of night, come to my tent and help to arm me. Aid me, I say.
Fortune and victory sit on thy helm.
All comfort that the dark night can afford, be to thy person, noble father-in-law. In brief, for so the season bids us be, prepare thy battle early in the morning. O thou, whose captain I count myself, look to my forces with a gracious eye. Make us thy ministers of chastisement, that we may praise thee in the victory. To thee I do commend my watchful soul.
Let me sit heavy on thy soul tomorrow. I that was thy brother, and washed to death with fulsome wine. Poor Clarence, by thy guile betrayed, tomorrow in the battle think on me, despair and die.
Bloody and guilty, guiltily awake, in a bloody battle end thy days. Think on Lord Hastings, despair and die.
Dream on thy cousins smothered in the tower. Let us be led within thy bosom, Richard, and weigh thee down to ruin, shame, and death. Thy nephew's souls bid thee despair and die.
Richard, thy wife, thy wretched Anne, thy wife, who never did sleep a quiet hour in your presence, now fill thy sleep with perturbation. Tomorrow, in battle, think on me, and let fall thy edgeless sword. Despair and die.
The last was I that helped thee to the crown. The last was I that felt thy tyranny. Oh, in the battle, think on Buckingham, and die in terror of thy guiltiness. Dream on of bloody deeds and death, fainting despair, despairing, yield thy breath.
Jesus! Coward conscience, how dost thou afflict me? Cold, fearful drops stand on my trembling flesh. What do I fear? Myself? There's none else by. Is there a murderer? No. Yes. I am. My conscience hath 1,000 several tongues, and every tongue brings in a several tale, and every tale condemns me for a villain. I shall despair. There is no creature loves me, and if I die, no soul will pity me. Wherefore should they, since that I myself find in myself no pity to myself? Methought the souls of all that I had murdered came to my tent, and every one did threat tomorrow's vengeance on the head of Richard.
My lord!
Zounds! Who's there?
Catesby, my my lord, 'tis I. The early village cock hath twice done salutation to the morn. Your friends are up and buckle on their armor.
Catesby, I have dreamed a fearful dream. What thinkest thou? Will our friends prove all true?
No doubt, my lord.
Oh, Catesby, I fear.
Good, my lord, be not afraid of shadows.
By the Apostle Paul, shadows tonight have struck more terror into that soul of riches than can the substance of 10,000 soldiers armed and proof and led by shallow Richmond. It is not yet near day. Come, go with me. Under our tents, I'll play the eavesdropper to see if any mean to shrink from me.
Then it is time to arm and give direction. More than I have said, loving countrymen, the leisure and enforcement of the time forbids to dwell upon. Yet, remember this. God and our good cause fight upon our side. The prayers of holy saints and wronged souls, like high-reared bulwarks, stand before our faces. Richard accepts those whom we fight against and rather have us win than him they follow. For what is he they follow? Truly, gentlemen, a bloody tyrant and a homicide. One raised in blood and one in blood established. One that made means to come by what he hath and slaughter those that were the means to help him. A base, foul stone made precious by the foil of England's chair where he is falsely set. One that hath ever been God's enemy. Then, if you fight against God's enemy, God will in justice ward you as his soldiers. If you do sweat to put a tyrant down, you sleep in peace, the tyrant being slain. If you do fight against your country's foes, your country's fat shall pay your pains the higher. If you do fight in safeguard of your wives shall welcome home the conquerors. If you do free your children from the sword, your children's children quit it in your age. Then, in the name of God and all these rights, advance your standards, draw your willing swords. For me, the ransom of my bold attempt shall be this cold corpse on the earth's cold face. But, if I thrive, the best of my attempts, the least of you shall share his part thereof. Sound drums and trumpets, boldly and cheerfully. God and St. George, Richmond and victory!
Richmond and victory!
What said Northumberland as touching Richmond?
That he was never trained up in arms.
He said the truth. And what said Surrey then?
He smiled and said the better for our purposes.
He was in the right, and so indeed it is. Give me a calendar. Who saw the sun today?
Not I, my lord.
And he disdains to shine. For by the book he should have braved the east an hour ago. A black day will it be to somebody. Catesby,
my lord,
the sun will not be seen today. The sky doth frown and lower upon our army. I would these dewy tears were from the ground. Not shine today. Why? What is that to me more than to Richmond? For the selfsame heaven that frowns on me looks frowningly on him. Come, bustle. Compare us with my horse. Call up Lord Stanley. Bid him bring his power. I will lead forth our soldiers to the plain, and thus my battle shall be ordered. My forward shall be drawn out, all in length, consisting equally of horse and foot. Our archers shall be placed in the midst, John Duke of Norfolk, Thomas Earl of Surrey shall have the leading of this foot and horse. They thus directed, we will follow in the main battle, whose puissance on either side shall be well winged with our chiefest horse. This and St. George to boot.
This found I on my tent this morning.
A thing devised by the enemy. Come, Catesby, every man unto his charge. Let not our babbling dreams affright our souls. Conscience is but a word that cowards use, devise at first to keep the strong in awe. Let strong arms be our conscience, swords our law. March on, join bravely. Let us to it, pell-mell, if not to heaven, then hand in hand to hell. What should I say more than I have inferred? Remember whom you are to cope withal. A sort of vagabonds, rascals, runaways. A scum of Bretons and base lackey peasants, whom their o'ercloyed country vomits forth to desperate ventures and assured destruction. You, sleeping safe, they bring to you unrest. You, having lands and blessed with beauteous wives, they would restrain the one, disdain the other. And who doth lead them but a paltry fellow, long kept in Bretagne at our mother's cost, a milksop, one who never in his life felt so much cold as over shoes and snow. Let's whip these stragglers o'er the seas again. Lash hence these overweening rags of France, these famished beggars, weary of their lives, who, but for dreaming on this fond exploit, for want of means, poor rats, had hanged themselves. If we be conquered, let men conquer us, and not these bastard Bretons, whom our fathers have in their own land beaten, bobbed, and thumped, and in record left them the heirs of shame. Shall these enjoy our lands? Lie with our wives? Ravish our daughters? What? I hear they drum. Fight, gentlemen of England. Fight, bold yeomen. Draw, archers. Draw your arrows to their head. Spur your proud horses hard, and ride in blood. Amaze the welkin with your broken stabs. What says Lord Stanley? Will he bring his power? Off with his son George's head. 1,000 hearts are great within my bosom. Advance our standards. Set upon our flows. Our ancient word of courage, fair St. George, inspire us with the spleen of fiery dragons. Upon them, victory sits on our helms.
Rescue, my fair lord of Norfolk! Rescue! Rescue! The king enacts more wonders than a man, daring and opposite to every danger. His horse is slain, and yet still on foot he fights, seeking for Richmond in the throat of death. Rescue, fair lord, or else the day is lost!
A horse! A horse! My kingdom for a horse!
Withdraw, my lord, I'll help you to a horse.
Slave! I have set my life upon the cast, and I will bear the hazard of the die. I think there be 6 Richmonds in the field. 5 have I slain already instead of him. A horse! A horse! Thy kingdom for a horse! God in your arms be praised, victorious friends. The day is ours. The bloody dog is dead.
The bloody dog is dead.
Courageous Richmond, what hast thou acquit thee? Lo, here, this long, usurped royalty from off the dead temples of this bloody wretch have I plucked off, to grace thy brows withal. Wear it, enjoy it, and make much of it. Long live Henry, England's worthy king! Long live Henry, England's worthy king!
God in your arms be praised. Say amen to all, but is young George Stanley living?
He is, my lord, and safe in Leicester town, whither, if it please you, we may now withdraw us.
What men of name are slain on either side?
John, Duke of Norfolk, Walter, Lord Ferrers, Sir Robert Brackenbury, and Sir William Brandon.
Until their bodies has become their births, proclaim a pardon to the soldiers fled, that in submission will return to us. And then, as we obtain the sacraments, let us unite the white rose and the red. Smile heaven upon this fair conjunction that long have frowned upon their enmity. O traitor hears me and says not amen.
Amen.
England hath long been mad and scarred herself. The brother blindly shed the brother's blood. The father rashly slaughtered his own son. The son compelled and butchered to the side. Oh, now, let Richmond and Elizabeth, the true succeeders of each royal house, by God's fair ordinance, conjoin together. Let their heirs, God, thy will be so. Enrich the days to come with smooth-faced peace, with smiling plenty, and fair prosperous days. Abate the edge of traitors, gracious Lord, that would reduce these bloody days again, and make poor England weep in streams of blood. Let them not live to taste this land's increase, that would with treason wound this fair land's peace. Now civil wounds are stopped. Peace lives again. That she may long live here, God say, Amen!
Amen!